Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that you don't need anyone's approval to feel like you matter. What would that feel like? No more pressure to prove yourself or gain validation. What if you didn't need anyone to tell you that you're good enough? Think about how different your life could be if you didn't feel the pressure to prove yourself every single day. Take a deep breath right now. Let go of everything you're holding on to. Just for a moment, let go of the idea that you need to be someone else, or that you need someone else's permission to be yourself. Imagine that, for once, you don't need to worry about what others think. You are enough, just as you are, in this moment. There's no need to prove it. You don't need anyone else to give you permission to feel worthy. You are worthy right now, exactly as you are. For most of our lives, we've been taught to find our worth through what others think of us, whether it's through our jobs, our relationships, or our achievements. We've been conditioned to think that if we just get enough approval, if we just achieve enough, if we just fit into the mold that others expect of us, then we'll be enough. But here's the thing, those things don't define you. You are not your job, you are not your relationships. You are not your past or your future. You are not your accomplishments, and you are not your failures. Those things are just parts of your story, but they are not the whole story. You are the awareness behind all of it. You are the one who watches it all unfold. Think about it. Can you imagine yourself without all of these labels, your job, your identity, your history? Can you imagine yourself without needing to prove something or trying to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be? What would that feel like? The truth is, you are already enough. You don't need anyone's approval to know that. You don't need anyone else's validation. You are not the character the world has created for you. You are the awareness, the consciousness that sees beyond all the stories, all the labels, and all the roles that you play. And here's the key, the ego, the part of you that seeks validation, the part of you that fears judgment feeds off approval. It needs praise, recognition, and affirmation to stay alive. But you, as awareness, don't need any of that. The ego is always looking for ways to be recognized, to be validated, and to be accepted. It creates a character, a version of you that it thinks needs approval to be seen as worthy. But that's just a story the mind tells itself. The truth is, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to be anyone other than who you are right now. You are not the character that your ego created. You are the consciousness that is simply aware of everything around you. The ego needs approval to stay alive because it doesn't realize that its existence is an illusion. It tells you that you need to fit in, that you need to be liked, that you need to be seen as successful in the eyes of others. But in reality, you don't need any of that. You are already perfect. You've always been perfect, just as you are. Think about it. The approval you've been chasing isn't real. It's not something you need to survive or to feel fulfilled. It's just a fleeting moment of recognition, a temporary fix for something that's been conditioned into you. But you, as consciousness, don't need that approval. You already have everything you need inside of you. You are already whole. You are already worthy, and nothing anyone says or does can change that. So what happens when you stop chasing validation? When you stop looking outside of yourself for approval, you begin to realize that the peace, the confidence, and the self-love you've been searching for were always inside of you. You stop looking for someone else's permission to live your life. You stop waiting for someone to tell you that you're good enough. You begin to live from your own truth. You stop pretending to be someone you're not. You stop hiding behind a mask just to fit in. You stop measuring your worth by the opinions of others because you know deep down that you don't need their approval to be enough. You are enough already without needing to prove it to anyone. When you understand that you are not the ego's story, you stop trying to please everyone. You stop worrying about what others think of you. You begin to realize that the only thing that matters is your own truth, your own voice, and your own authentic self. You stop living to meet the expectations of others and start living to meet your own. This is the freedom that comes when you let go of the need for approval. You begin to live with more peace, more confidence, and more joy because you stop trying to be something you're not. You stop trying to live up to someone else's version of success, and you start living according to your own. And when you do this, you'll find that life begins to unfold in a way that feels easy, natural, and right. You are not separate from the world around you. You are part of the vast, interconnected web of life. The universe expresses itself through you, through your thoughts, your actions, your experiences. Every moment, you are a unique expression of something much larger than yourself. Because of this, there's no need for you to seek approval from others. You are already connected to everything. You are already part of the whole. You just need to recognize that truth. Eckhart Tolle talks about the importance of being present in the now and how the ego keeps us trapped in the past and the future. We spend so much time either regretting the past or fearing the future that we forget that the only moment that truly exists is right now. The past and the future are just concepts in the mind. The present is where life actually happens, and when you're present, you are free from the constant need for validation. You no longer feel the weight of time pressing down on you. You are simply here, fully alive, experiencing the moment as it is. When you shift your focus to the present moment, you realize that you don't need to chase approval, because in the now, you already have everything you need. You stop waiting for some future event or some future version of yourself to be happy. You can be happy now in this moment. When you stop living in the past or the future, you let go of the need for external validation. You are enough in the present moment without the pressure to be anyone else. When you realize that you are not your body, but consciousness itself, everything begins to shift. You are not bound by the thoughts you have, the roles you play, or the expectations others place on you. You are the awareness behind it, all the observer of your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. You recognize that you are already whole, and you no longer need anything outside of yourself to feel validated. You are simply the consciousness that experiences life, and in that, you feel at peace and comfortable with your true self. Because when you no longer need approval, you realize that you don't have to fit into anyone else's mold. You just have to be yourself. And in that simple truth, you will find everything you've been looking for.